Hey, good morning everybody, TJ here. Today we're out at Copper testing out the Nidecker sensor team in collaboration with Snowboard Mag. Let's check it out. All right guys, real quick for reference before I jump into the tech on this snowboard, I'm 5'10", I weigh around 155 pounds. I'm riding the sensor team in a size 156. And this is gonna be kind of like the middle of the road freestyle focused board on the Nidecker lineup. It's a true twin and it runs a camber dominant profile. It's pretty much full positive camber through the entire length of the snowboard, but does have a tiny rocker release towards the contact points to mellow things out just a little bit, but going to come through with that positive camber, more precise, energetic feel. It's got a decent bit of carbon built into the layup as well. It's got their pop carbon is what Nidecker calls it. So there's 7 carbon stringers running down the length of the snowboard above the core, gonna help increase the energy and pop you're gonna find in this one while still keeping it lightweight. And speaking of lightweight, this does run their light core as well. So just trying to reduce that overall weight of the snowboard to help make it a little bit more comfortable and maneuverable underfoot. Other than that, you're gonna find their absorbent top sheet as you do on most of the Nidecker boards. So the top sheet actually adds a dampening benefit to help smooth out the ride a little bit and help reduce chatter. And it also runs their N7000 Syntruded base. So it's kind of like a more premium extruded base. It's got some carbon nanoparticles mixed into the base material. But all you need to know is that this is gonna be a low maintenance, easy to repair base material that should be pretty fast out here. So that's it for a quick tech breakdown here on the sensor team. We're about to get these laps going, get some park laps in today and see how this thing feels out on the mountain. We'll check back in later. All right guys, it's been a beautiful day out here at Copper testing out the sensor team. I feel like we got to put this board through the paces pretty well. Rode a nice variety of terrain, got a bunch of park laps in. And in my opinion, this is just like an all-around freestyle twin. It's got some nice versatility to it. Flex-wise, it's a little bit stiffer than I thought it would be. I'd say it's just ever so slightly on the stiffer side of medium. So it does come through with some decent stability. And I think that kind of enables it to step up to some larger features in the park more comfortably, or even get it up to a little bit higher speeds without feeling squirrely. And it does have a lot of energy as well. That was a big standout for me. This board comes through with some great pop. You know, it's got that pretty much full camber dominant profile. It's got the carbon built into the layup. I think there's 7 carbon stringers you can see here through the top sheet. And that actually caught me by surprise. There's a roller kind of towards the end of the park lap, towards the woodward chair here, that I like to ollie and just kind of feel that out. And the first time I sent it, it bucked me forward a little bit just because it sprung quite a bit harder than I thought it was going to. So definitely a nice standout with this snowboard. It comes through with plenty of energy and it's gonna help give back what you load up into it and help get you in the air whenever you want to, whether you're hitting jumps, hitting side hits, or just playing around on some rollers. And when it comes to flat ground and butter tricks around the mountain on more mellow areas, this is definitely going to be a fun choice for working on that kind of progression. But one thing I do want to note is that unlike the regular sensor, the sensor team does not have the sidekick tech. So the base and edge and the tips is not beveled up. It's just like a traditional snowboard. So it's not going to be as catch free and as buttery per se as the traditional sensor, but still plenty of fun. At the size 156 I'm on today with that slightly stiffer flex, I will say it does make you muscle it a little bit. You got to work for those presses to get it feeling a little bit taller and looking how you want it to, but totally doable on this one. So if you are into that and you want to work on that kind of progression, I wouldn't sweat it on the sensor team. It's got your back on that. And with this being a freestyle twin, I tried to spend as much time as possible hitting park laps today. And this board is going to be very versatile in the terrain park, whether you're trying to focus on more rail and jib focused riding, maybe even working on some more technical tricks. I think you're going to be able to find some nice progression with this snowboard, or if you're a more experienced rider, I think you're going to feel right at home on this guy, but it still has this ability to step up to larger features. So we were hitting the medium jump line here at Copper, where the biggest jump is around somewhere between like 30 to 40 feet. It's not a small jump, but it's definitely not as big as the large line they have here. And it felt totally at home on that, plenty of stability to be hitting features that size. And I would say at the 5'6", for my weight and height, I wouldn't hesitate to even step up to bigger gaps and more high impact features, larger jumps. If that was something you want to work towards, I think this is still going to be a good one to even step up to those highest level, biggest features you can find at your resort. But really what I want to highlight with this snowboard for more freestyle focused riding is the versatility. With whatever feature ends up in front of you, it's going to be able to handle it and it's going to have a good feel. I also spent a good amount of time today just cruising around Groomers, feeling this board out for carving. And in the 156 sensor team, you're going to find a 7.5 meter side cut. So pretty average, going to feel good at a wide variety of speeds, not really going to feel off in any scenario, whether you're pushing it going fast or just taking some mellow cruisers and some slower turns. Feels comfortable. But the biggest standout for me for that style of riding, at least with the sensor team, is the width you're going to find in this snowboard. I thought that was kind of surprising and honestly a nice benefit. So the 5.6 has a 26 centimeter waist, which is stepping into like the mid-wide category, even wide for some brands. So if you do want to lay this board over, do deeper, more aggressive carves, try Euro carves, and just really commit to those turns, throw all your weight in and dive into the turns. It's gonna have a strong edge hold and you're gonna be able to lean it over much more than you'd expect without having to worry about heel and toe drag. So if you have kind of a standard boot size around like a 9 or 10, I think you're really going to be able to do some deep turns with this thing. And if you have a larger boot size, having that width is going to be a nice benefit as well. And torsionally, so if you try to twist the board with your feet, the flex pretty much matches the tip to tail flex. So it's not super burly, but it definitely is sturdy enough where it's not really going to be getting bucked around out there, even in like some more end of day, heavier snow conditions like we have here right now. It's like 45 degrees here at Copper today. It's gonna be able to power through that and have a pretty comfortable feel. Now, if you really push it and you take a more free ride approach, are you gonna be able to find the limits of this thing? Yes, of course. It's a freestyle twin, but for being what it is, I think it's definitely an above average carving snowboard and something that you're really going to enjoy as you're out there exploring outside of the park as well. At the end of the day, I think the sensor team is just a great all around freestyle focus board. If you're like a high intermediate rider that's just getting into the park, this is going to be a great one to help with progression and still be fun cruising around the resort. Or if you're a more experienced park rider, it's just going to be a solid all arounder. I will say if I was going to buy this snowboard, I'd probably purchase it in the 153. I just think I'd prefer a little bit more flex and a little bit of a more jibby feel to it to be able to work on those more technical tricks. And I think there'd still be plenty of stability to hit the jump line. So maybe factor that into your decision if you're thinking about picking this one up. But if you're looking for something versatile that has some nice width and comes through with some great energy with a focus on freestyle riding and taking park laps, consider the sensor team. I'm gonna have this one linked down in the description below if you want to read a little bit more about it, as well as a link to the latest issue of Snowboard Magazine. So please make sure to go check that out. Drop a like if you got some value and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for watching today, and I'll see you in a new review next time. Take care, everybody.